Welcome to Schaeffer. I'm John Schaeffer Shields, Chairman of Schaeffer Manufacturing, and it's my privilege to take you on a guided tour. So come on aboard. Well, this is where it all began. This is Nicholas Schaeffer. He was my great-grandfather. My mother was a Schaeffer, so that's where the Shields-Schaeffer connection comes in. Now, Schaeffer really hit its peak about 1870. We were the oldest soap and candle manufacturer in the West, but a byproduct of making soap and candles was they squeezed out this stearic acid from making the candles, and they made red engine oil because by then the steamboat was flourishing, and they used the red engine oil to lubricate the steamboats on the Mississippi. And they made Black Beauty cup grease out of animal fats, and the reason they used animal fats is that petroleum oil hadn't been discovered yet. Everything went along fine until about the 1870s. Two of our customers in Cincinnati, one was Procter and another guy named Gamble, and they started putting a wrapper on their soap and merchandising it. So our soap business kind of went in decline. And then about 1878, why Edison came along with the electric light, and so our candle business started to decline. And then the Depression came along, and everybody went down. Well, he saved the company and passed that on to his oldest son, Jacob Schaeffer, who was my grandfather. Nicholas was my great-grandfather. After the Depression, my brother Tom over there, Tom was a glider pilot in World War II, and he found out that the Air Force was using molybdenum disulfide, that friction modifier, moly we call it. And so he pioneered moly in our oils and upgraded our base stocks to 100% pure paraffin base, later on putting in synthetics too. And so our oils became known as the finest in the market. In fact, we even had 50,000-mile trucks going without an oil change. In 1992, the Gulf War, we made a $10,000 gift of our special lubricants. We went to Mesa, Arizona, and they tried it out on the Apache helicopter, and they tried it on the M1 tank, and they used it in Desert Storm and the Apache helicopter very successfully, and the M1A1 tank. And then we got a nice citation from President Bush in appreciation, and also from Dick Cheney, who at that time was the Secretary of Defense. Now this is our pride and joy. About 6 years ago, Schaeffer was voted one of the top 50 fastest growing high-tech companies in this St. Louis region. It encompassed over 2,000 companies in a 150-mile radius. And the reason it's so interesting for us is here we are, the oldest company in St. Louis, 165 years and 6 generations, and still we're considered high-tech. And by the same token, over the last 10 years, 50% of our products were not in our line at that time. So we're constantly upgrading our skills and our expertise. Now this is where we send over our overseas products, and our biggest overseas account is Shell. About 15 years ago, Royal Dutch and Shell International from London came to St. Louis, so it was the Goliath coming to see the mouse, and they couldn't match our open gear lube for these huge drag lines and shovels, and we were packaging factory fill for Bucyrus Erie, the largest manufacturer of those mining machines out of Milwaukee. So they sent Shell to us, so we signed a contract with them to replace their open gear lube in this mining area throughout the world, and we ship it in 72 drum containers. So these drums will go into a container across the river and then down to New Orleans or Seattle or New York, whatever port, and they'll ship to South Africa, Australia, Chile, Brazil, all over the world. Right now, we're doing a little over 4 million with Shell, and it's increasing at about 500,000 every year.